No judgments. This is a safe space. I'm not 100% sure though. I might be lying to your face. We're not going to do right now because we're on a time crunch because we have 241 books to go through. You feel me? Yes. Hello, my bookish babes and besties. Welcome back, or welcome to your very first episode of Book Blabs. I'm Nat, and I love to blab all things books. So today I have something maybe a little crazy, maybe a little too eager, but I have just been on a reading kick right now, and I'm just like, my reading challenge is going strong. So it's making me think about my TBR. And I have a very large TBR, as we know from my series, Read It or I Don't Need It. And I think I'm going to break it up into two videos, but I'm going to ask for your help in influencing or de-influencing my TBR. So today, I am going to talk about my physical TBR. And I'm so scared. I think this is going to be a very big task to go through. I have 241 books on my physical TBR. That does not include like highly anticipated like pre-orders that have not arrived yet. I'm hoping everything is up to date. We will find out. Also in the comments, influence, de-influence. Like if you need to leave 60 comments, please leave 60 comments. Like everything you think that I should read or should not read. Like I really want to know your opinion. Please influence or de-influence my TBR. So let's just go through. We have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I was an English lit major in college and I love reading classics just because like that's what I studied. However, I never got the privilege of reading Jane Eyre. If you've read Jane Eyre, let me know. How high on the priority TBR list should I put it? Should I remove it? I need all of your opinions, guys, because with 241 books, we really need to like figure out my priorities. Next, I have Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I am devastated that I still have not read this book. I really should be prioritizing this one just because I know this is like a classic that everyone loves. There are some classics that are more hit or miss for some people, but I feel like everyone who's ever read Fahrenheit 451 loved it. So next we have books 6 and 7 of the Harry Potter series. So I've read books 1 through 5, but I have yet to read The Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows, which everyone says are the best ones. So I don't know what I'm sleeping on, but I know I need to read books 6 and 7. We have Normal People by Sally Rooney, and I'm honestly debating unhauling this one. Next, I have no judgments. This is a safe space. Next, I have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I bought this book right when I started to get back into reading, probably around COVID times, and everyone and their mother was talking about this book and Credence. I was a little too afraid of Credence, so I never bought it. But Birthday Girl also, I think, is a taboo romance. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one because I'm like, is it worth reading? Is it not worth reading? I do like a good like dark romance or a taboo romance from time to time, depending on the themes of it. Like Credence is not something I'm comfortable with just because of the themes and the kind of things that happen in that book. This book, I think everyone is of age to consent. It's a little bit unique for how they get together, but I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, let me know. Next, we have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I'm not a huge mystery thriller reader. There are times when I crave a good mystery or thriller, and I know this one was popular for a while back. So, Daisy Darker. Next, we have A Touch of Chaos by Scarlett St. Clair. When I first started really getting back into reading back in COVID around 2020, 2021, I read the Hades Persephone saga, which is like a Touch of Darkness series. I read books 1 through 3, and then the series it was unfinished. And so when book 4 came out, so much time had passed that I just kind of backburnered it, and then I've still haven't gotten around to reading it. So I don't know, because it's like, I wonder if I'll need a refresher. I think I probably will before starting book 4, but I don't know if I would want to reread books 1 through 3 or if I would just like look up a summary. Next, we have Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Trisha Levenseller. This is book 3 of Daughter of the Pirate King. I absolutely adored the first 2 books. I loved the witty writing style. I loved the fiery main character. I'm not sure if this book is just like a different main character though, just because the woman's picture on the front wasn't the redhead. It's a different woman on the cover. So I wonder if it's about someone else. I have not read the synopsis in a while, so like I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely do think I'll be getting to this at some point just because I loved Trisha Levenseller's writing so much. Next, we have The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. I have heard amazing things about this book, about this TV show, about this movie, and I want to experience them all, but I refuse to watch the movie or the TV show before reading the book. So really, I'm the only one holding myself back here because the only answer is to read the book. But, you know. Next, we have A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. I read the first book. This is book 2 in the Carls series. I cannot remember what the first book was. And I remember enjoying it because it's like, I'm not a huge sci-fi girly, but I remember it being like kind of like witty and comedic. It had a good sense of humor throughout the book, which was fun. I don't know if I'm going to get around to reading the second book, to be completely honest with you. I really don't know. As of right now, it is not appealing to me whatsoever, but I've been in a huge romanticy mood as of late, so that could be the reason why like science fiction just sounds not appealing to me in the slightest. So maybe your opinions, if you've read the book, will help me out. Next, we have These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. And I think this is also part of a series. I don't know if it's like a duology, a trilogy, but yeah, this is book 1. It is a romantasy, so maybe I should bump that up on my list just because I know it's the summertime, but I'm just so in the mood for a good romantasy right now. I've been reading romantasies nonstop. So next we have From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 1 in the Blood and Ash series. I'm terrified to start this series just because of how long it is. Because I know there's also the spin-off series, and they go kind of hand in hand. And there are just so many books in both of them that I'm like, do I have time to start this endeavor right now? Because there's like a lot of big bangers coming out towards the end of the year, and I'm like, do I really want to jump in right now? I don't know. Maybe I just have commitment issues. It's not the book, it's me. Next, we have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Seth Grahame-Smith. This book was an impulse buy. I really don't know anything about it other than it's Pride and Prejudice with zombies. And I haven't even seen the movie for that, but I absolutely loved Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I loved the movie with Keira Knightley. So I bought this book when I was on like a high after watching the movie and like reading the book, and I was like, yeah, let's do it, hell yeah. And then I never read it, and then like the funny part of it kind of died, and I was just like, is this a book that I'm actually actually gonna want to read, or is this just like an impulse buy? I don't know. If you've read it, let me know. Is it like still have romance? Is it still funny? Like what? I don't know even know what the vibe is. Next we have Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I believe there are 3 books. Let me double check myself. So I'll just group all these together. We have Realm Breaker, Blade Breaker, and Fate Breaker, all by Victoria Aveyard. This is like, I want to say her high fantasy series, but it's still YA. So it's like, I know a lot of high fantasies can have very mature content in it just because of like language or romance or graphic stuff. But I believe this was her high fantasy YA series, which sounds right up my alley. I love YA fantasy. I love high fantasy. I love everything fantasy. I don't know why. I loved Red Queen by her. So I don't know why I've been hesitant to start this series. I think I should just like jump in and go for it, but you never know. Next, we have The Finalists by David Bell. Um, I bought this book a long time ago. It says I added this to my list on May 15th of 2023, but I think that's when I created this shelf. Um, because I feel like this book has been on here longer. I don't even know what it's about. I don't even remember anything about this book, and I'm so sorry. Next, we have Mr. Darcy Takes a Wife. Pride and Prejudice continues, which is by Linda Burdole. I think this is also also an impulse buy after my high of like loving Pride and Prejudice so much. Um, yeah, yeah. Oh no. Then we have Book of Night by Holly Black. I've heard amazing things about this book. So I think there's two out and maybe a third one's coming out. I'm not 100% sure. I only own the first one, and I've heard it's like a darker urban fantasy for Holly Black because her other series was The Cruel Prince, which was very like political fantasy, and it mainly took place in this like fae realm, so it was very whimsical. This one I think is more urban fantasy. It takes place in the real world, but I'm not 100% sure. Then we have a couple of books by Liz Braswell. She does like the Disney retellings almost, or the what ifs. So I have As Old as Time by Liz Braswell. I have Part of Your World by Liz Braswell, and What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell. And what if, like, instead of this happening, what if this happened? And then it just kind of fleshes out that storyline. I'm a huge Disney lover, so I think at some point I'll eventually get to these. I think I've been a little hesitant just because I'm scared they're going to read a little bit younger, because Disney is suited for younger audiences, but we will see. Then we have A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. This is just another classic literature book that I never had the privilege to read. So that's why I own it. I hope to get to it one day, but I just don't know how high on that priority list I am placing it. By Jen Kalanita, I have Conceal Don't Feel, which is another Disney what if story. This one is about Elsa and Anna from Frozen. And yeah, I don't really know what the what if question is. They all have a big what if question, and I don't know what this one is. From Kiara Cass, who wrote the selection, we have 1,000 Heartbeats, which I hear is a very pretty, whimsical YA romantasy. I personally bought it because the cover was gorgeous. It's pink and it's purple, and there's this beautiful princess on it. And so I was like, yes, purchasing. We have Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett St. Clair. This is book 2 in the Adrian and Isolde. Is that how you say her name? I don't know if it's a series or a duology, but I read the first book and it has vampires in it, and that's why I read it. I remember nothing. So if I get to this book, I'm going to have to either reread or look up the synopsis or summary from the first book, because it has been so long since I read book 1 that I don't even remember. So I'm like, I don't want to walk into book 2 just completely blind, because I think I'll get too confused and frustrated. Next, we have Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone. I remember people like talking about this book vaguely, but I don't remember anything about it. Literally nothing. So I think it's a fantasy mystery. It might be gothic based on the colors on the cover, but I'm not 100% sure. Then we have House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is Sisters of the Salt, book 1. I think this was a book that I bought because I think it's based loosely on the 12 Dancing Princesses, which is like one of my favorite Barbie movies. I'm not 100% sure though. I might be lying to your face. Could not tell you. I'm so sorry. I have A Winter's Promise by Crystal Dabos. This is book 1 in the Mirror Visitor series. I think there are 4 books in this series. I keep trying to read this around like the winter time because I'm like, oh, it's blue and it's a winter's promise. It's probably gonna have perfect winter's vibe. And then winter comes around and I'm not in a fantasy mood. And I'm like, what the flip? So maybe I just read this outside of winter. Maybe I'm in a huge romanticy mood now, so maybe I pick this up sometime this month. Who knows? You know, the world is my oyster. There are no rules for reading. Like, I can read whatever genres at whatever time I want. I know usually fantasy is like a fall winter vibe. Not for this girly. I guess I read fantasy year round. Next we have The Raven and the Dove by Caitlin Davis. I bought this book the very first time I visited the Ripped Bodice over in Culver City, and I absolutely loved the little store. And I just like, I don't know what I want. I was so overwhelmed with all the different like romance books around me, and then this one caught my eye just because it looked like romanticy. So I was like, yeah, of course. And it kind of looked like an indie published cover. It wasn't like classically published. Like maybe it was classically, but it just looked more indie because it had like that matte cover. It was like it just didn't look mass produced. I don't know if it's like now traditionally published, but maybe, I don't know. All I know is like it looked like romanticy. I wanted to support the author. I wanted to support the small business of Ripped Bodice. So I said yes, and I purchased it. I completely forgot about this next book. Oh, next we have William Shakespeare's The Jedi Doth Return, which is by Ian Dosher. I love William Shakespeare and I love Star Wars. And I guess this is Return of the Jedi, but but written as if William Shakespeare wrote it. Oh, that's gonna be so funny. That's gonna be so funny. Next we have Spy Family Volume 1 by Endo Tatsuya? Tatsuya Endo. I'm so sorry if I mixed the name up. I think it's Tatsuya Endo. Anyways, I've heard amazing things about Spy X Family, and like I know it's an anime and everyone's like, Natalie, just like watch it. It's so cute. You're gonna love Anya and everything. And I guess there's like a big fluffy dog that I'm gonna love. But I was like, okay, maybe I want to read the manga first. And I was like, I don't know. I've never really read manga because it has a lot of pictures and I'm a fast reader as it is. And so I'm like, I don't really want to spend $12 on something that's going to take me an hour or less to read. So I just bought the first one to see if I was going to like it, but then I have not gotten around to it. And since I haven't gotten around to that, I have not gotten around to watching the anime. I know. I'm my own worst enemy, you guys. I understand the problem. I understand. I get it. I understand. Next, we have The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek. I bought this book a really long time ago just because I loved the vibes that was on the synopsis. I don't really remember them now. I just remember like I had never heard about this book when I was like at Barnes and Noble, and then I picked it up and it just kind of spoke to me. And so I was like, you know, it's kind of rare for a book to do that because normally like when I go book shopping, I'm like, oh my God, I've heard about this book. And then I buy it because I think like I'm going to like it based on what other people say. This book, however, I did not hear anybody talk about it. I had no idea who had read it. I hadn't heard anything from like all the booktubers or my friends. But it just spoke to me. So I was like, okay, fine, get in my basket. You're coming home with me. You did your job. You called to my heart. I have read all of his fiction books. The only two books from John Green's backlog I have not read are his two nonfictions. So the first one is The Anthropocene Reviewed, which I think he wrote around COVID times. I want to say it was 2020 or 2021. And it's just kind of like essays on this human-centered planet. It's kind of just looking at people and the Anthropocene and like making you think. Next book he wrote rather recently, Everything is Tuberculosis. Since this is more recent, I haven't really heard people talk about it, and I don't really know what it's analyzing, but It's going to be something witty. I love John Green's writing, so I know it's going to be something humor. He's going to be taking a serious topic and then like kind of making it humorous and witty and digestible. We have Wild as the Witch by Rachel Griffin. I went through a huge witch phase where I just loved reading books about women and witches and whether they were like, cursed for being witches or whether they were like admired for being witches. Were they respected or were they feared or were they, I don't know. I just think women and witches since like the Salem witch trials, like way back in like the 1500s, those themes of women being witches like goes hand in hand. And I just love how they kind of weave that into fantasy books sometimes, because like usually when there's witches, there's some sort of commentary on feminism or women, and I think that's really cool. So I went through like a huge witchy phase, I guess, and this was a book that I picked up at that time and just never kind of got around to it. So let me know if you've read it. I have Gorgona's Secret by Arlen Hawks. I don't remember a single thing about this book. Like, if you looked me in the eye and you told me that I owned this book, I would be like, where's the proof? I don't remember buying this book. I don't remember owning this book. I remember nothing. So maybe I unhaul it. I don't know. Maybe it'll surprise me. Based on the cover, I'm assuming it's a historical fiction. Who knows? Maybe it could be a historical romance. I have no idea what this book is about. I have Beastkeeper by Kat Hellison. I think I picked this book up from a what is it called? From a book off, because I liked to go in and trade in my old books that they don't accept books with writings in the margin, but so like all of my old school books are out because I used to write in the margins when I was taking notes. But like all my other books that I just unhauled or didn't want anymore, I would trade in, and then while they were like cataloging, I would like shop for a while. And I think Beastkeeper reminded me of Beauty and the Beast in a way, which is like my favorite Disney movie. Then we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This book is on my 26 for 2026 because I know how beloved this book is. So I just kind of need to like, I don't know why I'm slacking. I just need to get to it at this point. Like I need to pick up the pace. Belle Morte by Bella Higgin. I know it's a romantasy. I don't remember what it's about. This one could be about vampires. It could not. I could be straight up lying to your face once again. And I have no way to tell you unless I like look up the synopsis, which we're not going to do right now because we're on a time crunch because we have 241 books to go through. You feel me? Yes. Then we have The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. Khalid Hosseini. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this name. Absolutely have heard amazing things. Everyone says this book will tear your heart out. This book says it's the most amazing read you will read. You'll cry, you'll learn, you'll grow, you'll watch this character development happen. And everyone says amazing things will happen when you read this book. So this is on my TBR for sure. I'm not taking this off. I don't know how soon I'll read it because I am a little bit intimidated by it just because I don't personally like to cry when I'm reading. But I know that's part of like the human experience, and a good book usually moves you to tears. So when I grow the cojones to read it, I will. Okay. Then we have The Makeup Test by Jenny Howe. I don't remember buying this book. I'm so sorry. I don't remember buying this book. I don't remember what it's about. Piggybacking off of that, a long time ago, I think I bought them at a library sale, and they were 25 cents each. I purchased the 50 Shades of Grey series. So that's 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed, all by E.L. James. And then I also purchased Grey, which is 50 Shades as told by Christian's POV, book 1. I know there are 2 other that exist for the other 2 books, I believe, but the library only had those 4. So I'm going to be so real with you guys. I have watched the movies a handful of times. Sometimes that's my guilty pleasure. I'm just like, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. However, because I've watched the movies like a handful of times, I don't know how that's going to translate into me reading the books now. So I'm going to be so real when I say I might unhaul these. Let me know if they're worth reading, if you've read them, and if I should read them. If honestly I'll gain nothing from reading the books, please let me know, because that is 4 books that I can take off my TBR, or 4 books that I need to prioritize on my TBR. So I know back in the day, these books were really popular, so please tell me your honest opinion. Then we have Life's Too Short, which is the Friend Zone Book 3 by Abby Jimenez. This book is staying on my TBR because I absolutely adore Abby Jimenez. She is a great author. I've loved all of the books that I've read by her so far. So I don't know when I'll get to this book, but I will be getting to this book at some point. Next we have Fallen by Lauren Kate, which is book 1 in the Fallen series. I watched the movie for this book and I enjoyed the movie. However, I don't know how accurate the movie depiction from the book was. So like now I'm scared if I go back in and read the book, I'm going to be like, what? This wasn't like the movie. And I'm constantly going to compare. And so now I'm like nervous. So I don't know. Plus, this is like a series. I don't even own the rest of the series. Like, I might just unhaul this. But then the movie series didn't continue. So I'm like, well, if I want to keep going and know what happens next, then I need to read the books. So, like, I'm kind of at this, like, push and pull of, like, girl, make a decision. Then we have The Institute by Stephen King. This book... I couldn't tell you. I'm usually pretty hesitant to read Stephen King just because he has a lot of, like, animal abuse and cruelty. I think this one's safer because it has to do with kids, like, being studied for having, like, I don't know if it's, like, they have superpowers or they're just different. Next, we have A Duel with the Vampire Lord by Elise Kova. I've heard amazing things about Elise Kova's writing. However, this is book 3 in the Married to Magic series. I think they're interconnected standalone, so I don't think it matters. I personally bought this because it says vampire, and I am a sucker for vampire romances. I don't know what it is about me, but like if there are vampires, I am there. That is just one of my biggest like guilty pleasures. That is like one of my biggest tropes that I love is vampires. Like I am the type of person where did anybody watch The Invitation? Like I loved that movie, and I was like, semi spoiler at the end, I was like, girl, just be with him. He's hot. Like, what do you mean? And then, like, the fact that she, like, went feminist and, like, you know, was a badass and was so cool. I was like, okay, respect, but also dumbass. Like, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just me. I love vampires. They are, I don't know. I adore anything with vampires. I'm there. Then we have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I still haven't read this. Everyone and their mother's read this. And they're like, Natalie, how could you be an English lit major without having read this? We have Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I don't remember anything about this book. I'm so sorry. I own so many romanticises, and I guess I just need to go back through and remind myself what they are. Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. I saw this was a romantasy written by Trisha Levenseller herself. I absolutely love Trisha Levenseller's writing, so I purchased it. Then we have Song of the Forever Rains and Dance of a Burning Sea by E.J. Mello. I don't know I think it's a duology. I think it's romantasy. I don't remember what it's about though. Then we have The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I absolutely love the movie. However, I've heard the book is pretty slow in the beginning and then it picks up. I've also seen the movie so many times, I'm like, I'm probably going to compare. So I don't know if I should just unhaul the book and just, you know, continue loving the movie. Or if you've read it, please let me know if the book is worth reading after I've seen the movie so many times. We have The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner and Midnight Sun, also by Stephanie Meyer. So this is book 3.5 and book 5 in the Twilight Saga. I read the first 4 books, obviously. So I read Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. I absolutely love the movies. Like the movies, vampires, they're my guilty pleasure. I watch them once to twice a year. I just have a marathon and I just binge all the movies. At least 1 to 2 times a year. However, when I went back and read the books for the first time, maybe, I want to say it was like 2022 or 2023, the writing style was very difficult for me. And I don't mean this to be mean, it just felt really young and very just not complex. Like it just seemed like the writing was almost like dumbed down for its readers, and I don't know if it's because it's meant to be YA. I don't know, but like the writing was just very hard for me to get through. Next we have This Is Where It Ends by Mariki Nijkamp. This has been on my TBR. This is probably one of the oldest books on my TBR, if I'm being honest with you. Just because it was so popular. I want to say like maybe back in like 2016 or something. It's been popular for so long, or it was. But I'm just really scared because it's very dark, very real. It could happen anywhere because this is one about the school shooting, and I'm really scared that it's going to affect me in a bad way, but I also feel like it could be really eye-opening to read about an experience like that because I live in America, and like in America this happens all the time, and I feel like people now just kind of turn on the news and they're like, oh, another school shooting, pity, change the channel. And I'm like, that seems so horrible that we've been so desensitized to it at this point. So like, I don't know, maybe I should read it to just kind of like open my eyes. Stealing Infinity by Alison Noel. I don't remember a single thing about this book. I'm so sorry. I remember absolutely nothing. Autumn's Tithe by Hannah Parker. This is the Severed Realms trilogy, book 1. Again, I don't remember anything about this book other than I keep trying to read it in like the fall or the autumn because it's Autumn's Tithe, and I've never gotten around to it. So maybe I just need to read it when I'm itching for it, or just pick it up and read it. Next we have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I bought this book, and I guess you're supposed to read a different series first, but I'm like, I don't really want to read the series first, so maybe I'll just read it. What happened to my list? Sorry, I'm trying to go to the next page, but I don't know where the next page is. Next, we have As Brave as You by Jason Reynolds. I've read a book by Jason Reynolds, and his writing was just absolutely beautiful, absolutely poetic. And I think this is a children's literature book, so it's going to read really young. But I remember picking it up in the store and like thinking that it was going to be like a super cute book to like, with a super cute message and like a good reminder, because you know children's books have really good reminders for adults, because like we tell children things to build them up and let them dream and be who they want to be, but then as adults like we face disappointments and we harden ourselves and we just kind of lose our whimsy. And so I think like by reading this children's book, like not only will it be good to read to my future children, but I think it'll be a good reminder to not lose my dreamer or not lose my whimsy. Next, we have An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I don't remember this book. I'm so sorry. The cover is beautiful. I think I want to read it one day, but like, I don't know when I'm going to read it. Let me know if you've read it. Then we have Dark and Shallow Lies by Jenny Sane Myers? Jenny Myers Sane. This book, I don't remember anything. I'm going to be so honest with you. Immortal Rising by Lindsay Sands. I remember picking this book up when I was shopping in like Target or Barnes. I don't remember which one. And I think it's part of like an interconnected series because this is book number 34. And I'm like, I don't think they'll have an ongoing book series for 34 books. If it is book 34 in an ongoing series, then I'm screwed. But I just remember reading the cover and being like, wow, this seems really, really interesting. So I bought it. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I absolutely loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And then I think Gallant is like a YA fantasy of hers. So I was like, I'll pick it up because I would love to read it at some point. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I have heard mainly things from my good friend Lorelai about this book. She says it's worth reading. I know it's part of a series now. I don't know if there are 2 books or 3 books in the series, but I'm just nervous because like I hate non-happy endings, and this book quite literally tells you that it's not a happy ending. It's literally called They Both Die at the End. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm scared to read it because I'm literally setting myself up for heartbreak and for disappointment and for sadness. The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. I also bought this in my witchy phase. I know it's like something about like maybe an institute. So it's like this girl gets discovered. They suspect she's a witch, so she gets thrown in like an institute, but it actually ends up being like a haven for witches, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Do not quote me on this. I could be completely yanking your chain and lying to your face right now. I have a handful of Nicholas Sparks books, and I'm gonna be so real with you guys. I might be unhauling these just because I like Nicholas Sparks is a cool. I've watched all of these movies, and I feel like the movies are good enough. So maybe I should give the books to someone who will love and appreciate them. I have The Best of Me, The Last Song, The Longest Ride, and Safe Haven. I've watched all the movies. Loved all the movies, cried over all the movies. If you think that I need to read the books for any reason, please let me know. But other than that, in my head, I'm planning on unhauling those 4 books. Then we have Always in December by Emily Stone. Emily Stone wrote a book called, I think it's called The Last Gift, and it was one of my favorite Christmas reads I've ever read. It was so emotional, so heartwarming, but also like heart-wrenching. Like it was about grief, it was about love, it was about loss, it was about finding yourself, and just, it was so good. It was so good. And Always in December is another book of hers, and because I loved One Last Gift from her, I immediately bought this book because I was like, clearly I enjoy her writing. Next I have 2 books by Jessie Q Sutanto, and I actually got to meet her at the LA Festival of Books, not this past year but the year before that. She was so sweet. So I'm really excited to read these. I have The New Girl and The Obsession, which I believe are both YA kind of like mystery thrillers. I don't know if they're romance, but I'm kind of excited to read those just because like I love a good YA high school mystery thriller because it's like, oh my gosh, is the killer in my class? Like I just get like Pretty Little Liars vibes, you know? Dear Future Mama by Megan Trainor. I got to meet Megan Trainor and she signed this at the LA Festival of Books. I absolutely love and adore Megan Trainor as an artist and a musician. Like she writes amazing music. I love to sing her music. I love to just listen to it. I love her relationship with her husband, and I love her openness with her 3 beautiful children, and I love how she advocates for scheduled C-sections because a lot of people give pushback about her not doing it the natural way and all that stuff. And so this book is a nonfiction book about like her journey through pregnancy, birth, motherhood, and she just comes at it from here in like a really real way. However, I'm not in a stage of my life where I feel like I am ready for motherhood. Like I have my loving boyfriend, but we're not even living together yet. We're not married. So I think like we should just be selfishly just us 2 right now. Like we should not add a baby. And so once I get to that stage, I think that would be a really great book to read just to have some advice from a mother who just wants to help other mothers and other girly pops. We have The Book of Boundaries by Melissa Urban. In my past year and a half of healing, I have been really, really good at setting boundaries. I bought this book before I was capable of setting boundaries. So now I'm kind of interested to read this book and see like how much I already know versus like what else I could learn, because like I've gotten really good at like reading what I want and setting like very safe, comfortable, reasonable boundaries with people. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like it'd be interesting to like read it now that I'm like more educated and more healed. I have For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. I went through like a werewolf phase. It kind of comes and goes. Like vampires will always be in my heart, but werewolves, like I have come and go. Right now I'm kind of in a werewolf phase because I just read The Wolf King and The Night Prince, and I'm like gnawing at my cage for book 3, which won't come out until May of 2027. So maybe I'll pick that book up because I know it has to do with like werewolves or wolves and Red Riding Hood, so that might be a fun read. I have The Dog I Loved by Susan Wilson. I don't know much about this book other than one of my best friends got it for me. So 2 of my really good friends, Lexi, Mackenzie, and I, we went to like a Barnes & Noble and we did a challenge where we all kind of swapped and we got a book for each other that we think that they would like. Mackenzie drew my name and she got me something with the dog, which is so cute because she knows I absolutely love and adore dogs. However, I have not read this yet because I fear that it will rip my heart out. I know at some point I'm going to read this. I just need to be mentally and emotionally ready for it. We have Fable by Adrienne Young. I know nothing about this book, so let me know if I should read it or not. The cover's beautiful. I know it's probably romantasy, but let me know. My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. I've heard this one is really gut-wrenching. I've seen clips from the movie, but I've never watched the movie. And so I think seeing the clips from the movie made me purchase the book because I just know it's about like autonomy and like how old are you? How old do you have to be before you can advocate for like what your body's rights are? We have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I've heard this one's really emotional. So I'm nervous to read it, but I think it'll be a good read when I get to it. 19 Steps by Millie Bobby Brown. I heard this was like historical fiction that she wrote. I think she co-wrote it with another author. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But it's historical fiction based on her nana's story. It's either her grandmother's or her great grandmother's. And I think it has to do with like the war and stuff. And it's like I love Millie Bobby Brown. I wanted to support her. Sanctuary of the Shadow by Aurora Asher. Another romantasy that I purchased that I could tell you nothing about, but I will get to one day. Then we have Coraline. This is by Neil Gaiman. I absolutely love the movie, so I wanted to buy the book and read the book. Plus, like, I feel like people say that the book is creepier, so I would love to get the creepy, spooky vibes. Beautiful Graves by L.J. Shen. I think this is a dark romance. I cannot tell you anything about it other than I bought it probably when I was in my dark romance phase. I'm talking so much, I need to take a break. Cheers, ladies. Hydrate. I think I bought this book when I was in my dark romance phase, and I'm not really in my dark romance phase so much anymore. Occasionally, I'll like get an itch and I'll read like one book and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my like regularly scheduled programming. So I have no idea. Please let me know if you've read this book because like this might be worth unhauling. The rest of the Heroes of Olympus. So I read book 1 of Heroes of Olympus. So I have books 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is The Son of Neptune, Mark of Athena, House of Hades, and Blood of Olympus. All of them are written by Rick Riordan. And I am so excited to continue the series. I read book 1 and I was a little nervous because Percy Jackson read quite young. And so, like, I liked it, but I was also like, this feels like a 12-year-old should be reading it, and I'm 24, so it was a little hard. But I was pleasantly surprised. It's still read pretty young, and I feel like because it's meant for young readers, they kind of, Rick Riordan tells you instead of showing you. We have Starbringer by Tracy Wolff. I absolutely loved and adored the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. So when I saw that Tracy Wolff wrote another book, I think this one's about space or something, I immediately bought it. I have not gotten around to it yet, but I will eventually. I have Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. I got it at Book Off for $5.50, guys. What a bargain. The one guy Bailey Rydell can't stand is actually the boy of her dreams. She just doesn't know yet. Okay, so this is a romance. Classic movie fan Bailey Mink Rydell has spent months crushing on a witty film geek she only knows online as Alex. Two co-separate the teens until Bailey moves in with her dad, who lives in the same California surfing town as her online crush. We have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I absolutely loved The Silent Patient, and then I heard The Maidens is like The Silent Patient, but in dark, like in academia and dark academia vibes, student vibes, bricks and ivies. So I was like, yes, purchase. Now it's on my TBR. Have not gotten to it yet though, so maybe I should pick that up. We have books 2 and 3 from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. So I have Good Girl, Bad Blood and As Good as Dead. One of my really good friends, Samantha or Sammy, Hi, Sammy. She said I should read. Like, she literally commented and she's like, yeah, you need to continue the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. And so I'm like, yes. I call her Mama Sam. So yes, Mama Sam, I will get on that for you. Next we have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I have not read a Brandon Sanderson book yet, but I heard that this is a good way to start because it's a standalone. I think maybe it's not a standalone because it said Hoyt's Travels #1. So I could be lying to you right now. I heard that this is just like an easier read. Um, who knows? But I also own the Mistborn trilogy book 1. I only bought the first book instead of the whole series because I was like, I need to like dip my toes in first because I know Brandon Sanderson can be a very intimidating author, so I'd rather like dip my toes in first. So those are 2 books that by Brandon Sanderson that I need to read. Let me know which one to start with because I could start with The Trust of the Emerald Sea, or if you want me to just dive right into Mistborn, let me know. Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. One of my best friends, Mackenzie, read this book and she said it was the most mid book of her life, and I was like, well, crap. Um, I was pretty excited for this book when I got it, but then I heard a review and I trust her opinion with my life. It kind of made me halt. I know I'm allowed to have my own opinion, but like, I was like, okay, let's reassess. Next, I have The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is book 2 in the Stolen Heir duology. I read book 1, The Stolen Heir, right when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. I flew through it, but I was like weird because this is about Oak, who was a little boy in the Cruel Prince series, and now he's like 18 or 19. He's like grown up and he's now the love interest, and I was like, this feels wrong to be crushing on this guy because like now he's of age, but like at the same time I view him as that little boy. So I was like, this feels weird and wrong to me. Yeah, anyways, I had to wait a normal amount of time for book 2 to come out, but by book 2 I'd already kind of forgotten all the particulars of book 1, so now I've just kept back burnering Prisoner's Throne, so at some point I need to get to it. I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I'm not sure which of the Powerless books I have, to be honest with you. I know I don't have the whole series. I might have book 1, book 2, and then I might have Bella Powerful, I think, but I for sure know I don't have, so I don't think I have book 3 yet. If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nowlin. This is book 2, If He Had Been With Me. I just recently read book 1, If He Had Been With Me, and it broke my heart. I think I rated it 1 or 2 stars, and I feel so bad because my best friend Mackenzie was so sweet in gifting me these like special editions of book 1 and 2, and they're like beautiful and gorgeous, and I love looking at them, but I'm really scared to read book 2 because I really did not like book 1, and I've heard that book 2 is kind of irrelevant, like it's just book 1 but from his point of view, so you kind of go through the whole same motion and it's the same end, you know how exactly how it ends, like it's gut-wrenching. So maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't. Either way, Mackenzie, thank you, I see you, I love you. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is Mortal Instruments book 1. I've watched the movie and I've absolutely loved the movie, so I will eventually get to this series at some point. However, I'm a little bit afraid because there's like questionable incest in this series. Like, it's, I'm sorry if this is a spoiler to you, but my friend Lorelai, she told me that it's confirmed that they aren't siblings, which makes it okay, but like there's a period of time where they continue doing what they're doing even though it was not yet confirmed that they were siblings, and that just like it doesn't really sit well with me, so I'd have to just tread carefully when I go into that series. I have Love Light Farms by B.K. Borson. I absolutely loved B.K. Borson's book, the Christmas book. What is it called? Grim Tidings is the second book that I pre-ordered, but I don't remember the first book. Okay, well, I loved it, so I'm excited to read Love Light Farms. Next, I have In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. I read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle, and I absolutely adored it. So I think that she just writes very insightful books, and so I'm excited to read in 5 years, because like once again, it's like, I don't know if it's like magical realism, but it's like an alternate. I don't know if she wakes up 5 years in the future and like is getting to like live through her life and see what it's like. But I feel like it'll be really cool. Next, I have Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is book 2 in the Six of Crows duology. This is on my 26 for 2026. I loved Six of Crows, and so I'm very excited to get to Crooked Kingdom. My sister DNF'd this book. She wasn't a huge fan. I don't know what happened, because Ashley and I usually have very similar tastes, so we'll see what I think. Because everybody else that I have met or like talked to about this book has loved Crooked Kingdom. So maybe this is just not Ashley's cup of tea, or maybe I'll be like Ashley and I won't like it. We will have to see. We have another duology by Leigh Bardugo, which is King of Scars and Rules of Wolves. This is another spin-off from the Shadow and Bone series. I don't remember who these two books follow. It's another duology, very highly rated, very beloved, so I'm excited to get to those. Then we have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, another classic that I think I just need to read. I think it'll say a lot about humans and expectations, and just like, you know, like matching the inside versus the outside, because someone could be really beautiful on the inside and someone could be really ugly on the inside. And so like I think it's cool that this picture shows someone's insides. We have Silence and Shadow, which is Blood and Moonlight book 2 by Erin Beatty. I read Blood and Moonlight, I want to say like 2022, like it was a long time ago, and I remember like being very surprised that I liked it so much, because it was like it was like a mystery, and I'm not super into mysteries, and I remember really and thoroughly enjoying it, but it was kind of like a to be continued, and I was like, what do you mean? And then book 2 came out, but so much time had passed that I just never got around to it. So eventually, hopefully, I'll get around to it. We have Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. This is Gaming and Romance book 1. I only have the first book, but I think other ones are on my TBR, or like my wish list, I should say. I don't know, I feel like it just seems so cute, because like my boyfriend is a huge nerd. He plays like Magic the Gathering and Riftbound and Lorcana, and he like collects Pokemon, and he used to play Pokemon, and he has friends that and buddies that play like Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons. Like that's very much his world, and I'm pretty sure this is a book about a couple falling in love through or in Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't know, it just seems cute. I love my nerdy boyfriend so much. Jaden, if you're watching, I love you. And we have How I'll Kill You by Ren DeStefano. I bought this book because it had a pink cover, but also it seems so interesting because there's these 3 sisters who get these men to fall in love with them and then kill them. And so this one sister, she actually falls for this guy, and she's like, well crap, like I don't want to kill him now. I have Just My Type by Fallon Ballard. I've read a couple Fallon Ballard books at this point, and I've enjoyed them all. I don't think I'd say they're my favorite books, but like I remember like positive reactions to them and being like, oh, that was cute, oh, that was fun, like it was just a vibesy read. When I'm in like a romance mood, I will want to read that. So we have the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. So we have Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Rune and Rising. So I did watch the Shadow and Bone show that was on Netflix. I'm so sad that it got discontinued. However, that just makes me want to read the books more, because like now, like I'll actually get to find out what happens, because I was obsessed with the show. 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I've heard this book is so sad, but also really good. I think it's YA, but I'm not 100% sure. But I've heard it's just really sad. So I'm hoping it's sad with the happily ever after, though. We'll find out when I read it, I guess. Hi, I just want to give you a quick disclaimer that there is vacuuming and cleaning going on at my home. So if you hear the vacuum, just try to ignore Marianne for caring and providing us with a clean home. So I will never complain about background noise, okay? Now that we've established that. let's go ahead and move. Next, I have a handful of Stephen King books. So I have Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining. And like I said earlier, I'm a little bit nervous to read Stephen King just because he does have animal abuse or cruelty or death in it. And I know that it's meant to symbolize, because it's like if someone is depraved enough to torture or kill or hurt animals, then they're clearly not right in the head. And I know that that's like what's supposed to symbolize, and it's just, but for me, I just take it so personally, and it's my one red flag. I probably have more than one red flag, but it's a red flag that I'm for sure aware of. Like, you guys, if you've read any of those 3 books, let me know. I already know about The Pig and Carrie, but besides that, let me know for those 3. I have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I loved Lynn Painter's writing. I think I've read 3 books by her, and she's just like fun and vibey, and her characters are kind of spunky. I have To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. This is another romantasy that I don't really remember a whole lot about, but eventually I will get to it. I have Arch Conspirator by Veronica Roth. She used to be one of my favorite authors, especially when I read Divergent series. And so when I saw that she wrote this other book and it was like super small, I just bought it because like it was almost like an auto buy. I don't even know what this book is about, but it's Veronica Roth, so I said yes. Next we have the Witcher series. I don't know the exact order these are supposed to go into, and I also don't know if I should unhaul these or not, because I absolutely loved the Witcher show, but once it started veering from, I guess, the original story, Henry Cavill left and it is now Liam Hemsworth doing it, and I kind of stopped watching the show at that point. So I don't know if I also don't know if I have all of the books, because I was like looking at the numbers and like I truly don't know the exact order of the series. But by Andrzej Sapkowski, I have Blood of Elves, The Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, The Tower of Swallows, and The Lady of the Lake. So I don't even know if I have all of the books. Please let me know. Also, let me know if I should even like bother reading them. I have the Unwind series. Jaden was kind enough to purchase this series for me. Let me see if I can find all of them once again. Let's give a shout out to this Morpico, and let's give a shout out to my outfit of the day. Like, I'm never one to wear matching sets, but like, look how cute. The 4 Unwind books I have are Unwind, Unholy, Unsold, and Undivided by Neil Shusterman. So I read, just so he's with us this episode. So I read Scythe by Neil Shusterman and absolutely loved it, and Jaden thinks I'll like Unwind better just because I am a Christian woman, and I guess Unwind is you have until like your 16th birthday to prove your worth to society, otherwise they can unwind you and like give your parts to more deserving people. And they use the Bible. They cherry pick lines from the Bible to justify these actions. And I think that I would find that so interesting to like have the Bible justify these horrific unwindings of souls and body parts and people. I don't know. It seems really cool. So we have A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. I've heard amazing things about this series, about this book. I could tell you nothing about it other than I know people like it. The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I've heard very mixed reviews about this book. I really enjoyed A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I bought this book because it sounded interesting, that the fact like this woman disappears and now she's back, and then like what happened, what would happen when she was gone. And like, I just love a good mystery like that. The Summer Book Club by Susan Mallory. I think this is a women's fiction or like a literary fiction about these women who are just different phases of their lives, and like their lives are kind of in shambles and falling apart, and they come together for this book club and they just kind of learn and grow. Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. I've heard from Lorelai that this book is so creepy. Like so creepy. Of course, I want to read it because like sometimes I love a good creepy vibe. Fresh Blood by Nicole Arendt, which I heard is about vampires. So, of course, I bought it immediately because vampires, yes, vampires, yes, please, and yes, thank you very much. Next, we have A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston, and I absolutely love and adore Ashley Poston. I think every single book that I've read by her has been 5-star. I'm sorry, that was not English. It has been 5 stars. Or close to it. We have The Tearsmith by Aaron Doom. I really, really enjoyed the Netflix movie that came out for this. And so I bought the book afterwards just because I'm like, maybe the book will have those better longing vibes, because this book was very, it's like more taboo romance. So it has that yearning and that longing. And so I'm like, maybe the book does it better. We will see. The Darkness Within Us by Tristan Levenseller. This is book 2 of the Stathos sisters. I loved and adored the first book. I rated it 5 stars, but I cannot for the love of me remember its name right now. It's just about her sister. So because it's Trisha Levenseller, we know I love Trisha Levenseller, and we know I loved book 1. So I'm assuming book 2 will have same vibes because it's the other sister, because it's the same writing and they're sisters, so they have the same morals and stuff. But we'll see. Next I have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I think Christina Lauren books for me are pretty hit or miss. This one just feels very summery, so maybe I'll get around to it this summer. It seems like a perfect like poolside beach read. Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings, and I think the cover just looks so cute. I love the pink and I love the flowers and I love everything. Plus I feel like these two women don't get along at first, and it's like getting to watch it flip from like I don't like you into, oh, I love you. It's going to be super fun. I have Babel by R.F. Kuang. I really, really enjoyed Catabasis by her. And I've heard Babel is like historical fantasy fiction, like super cool and like super profound. So I'm very excited to read Babel. I have Snow Globe by So-Young Park. I bought this book because it was colorful. It was like a YA. I think it's a dystopian mystery almost. So I don't really remember anything else about it though. Canadian Boyfriend by Jenny Holiday. I don't know anything about this book. Other than I think she like pretends to have a boyfriend and then this man shows up and it is exactly how she described. I think that would be my guess, but I don't remember. I don't know. Fact check me if you want, but I don't know. Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. I'm really excited to read this one eventually. The book is sitting right there and it just kind of calls to me sometimes. Especially since I'm in a romantasy phase right now. Like everybody thinks that this is such a great... I've not heard anything bad about this book series, so maybe that'll be my next read. Who knows? I have Immortal Dark by Tigest Gurma. Dark Academia Vampires. What else do I need to say? Sold. It is on my shelf staring at me as well. Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin. I bought this book on a whim. The cover was beautiful. That's all I know about it. Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. I've read 2 books by Cara Bastone now, and both of them have been, I want to say, 5 stars or close to 5 stars. Ready or Not is accidental pregnancy trope, but I guess it's accidental pregnancy trope done correctly. The cover is beautiful. I know I like Cara Bastone's writing, so I truly think that this book will, like, in my mind, I already know that I think I'm gonna have like a pretty high opinion of it. Next I have Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is Covenant book 1. I know nothing about this book. I'm so sorry. I think, guys, are we seeing a trend here? Are we seeing a trend? My TBR is so big that like there are books that I can't tell you anything about them. Everything We Never Said by Sloane Harlow. Once again, I could not tell you anything about this book. Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. Another romantasy. I think this one's YA. The Library of Borrowed Hearts by Lucy Gilmore. I read another book by Lucy Gilmore, and it was about like I think it's the Lonely Hearts book club, and I actually have my own video, like back when my channel started, I created its own video to review this book because I loved it so much. So I think this book is going to have very similar vibes, and I think I'm going to love it as well. Fate Be Changed by Farah Roshan. This is another one of those Disney what ifs stories. This one is about Merida from Brave, so it's a what if question. from those Disney stories. I have Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. I absolutely love dragons, just like I love vampires. So if something has dragons in it, usually I will pick it up. I have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I know this is a cozy fantasy with sentient plants, and it just seems really like whimsical, very cutesy. So eventually I will get to it, but sometimes cozy fantasies are a little bit too low stakes for me, so I kind of have to be like in the exact mood for it. Then we have Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. Once again, I never read this book in school. John Steinbeck is a classic, very beloved author, so I think I should just start working on his backlog. We have The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have one giant book. It's all three of the Lord of the Rings books at once. So, like, I don't know how I'm going to hold this. I don't know how I'm going to read it. That is a bridge I will cross when I get to it. Next, I have The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. I read book 1 for the Dream Harbor series. I think it's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I have not read book 2, which is like the cinnamon bun something. And then, but I do own book 3, which is the Christmas Tree Farm. So like, I'm kind of all over the place, but I think these are all interconnected standalones anyways within this town of Dream Harbor. I think it'll be cutesy to read around the Christmas time. Then we have The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I absolutely loved 2 of the Casey McQuiston books I read before, which was Red, White, and Royal Blue and One Last Stop. However, I've heard very mixed reviews about this book, The Pairing. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh, I completely forgot I had this one. But I also have 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole, which is 1,000 Boy Kisses book number 2, which I mentioned earlier. This is the second book in that heartbreaking YA romance series that I thought about earlier. I have The Labyrinth of Lost and Found by Jordan Lees. This is book 1 in the Whisperwicks. I'm pretty sure this is children's literature, but the cover just seems so cutesy and whimsical, and I wanted to have a book about that whimsy. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I absolutely love the song Jekyll and Hyde by Five Finger Death Punch. If you haven't listened to it. But I haven't read the book, so I'm like, maybe I should read the book. I have The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I think this is about witches or vampires and witches. I don't know, but it's something paranormal, so I'm like, yes, ma'am. Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I think this is like a dark academia, mystery, romantasy. So I'm like all on board for that. I completely forgot to record this one, but I also have Inamorata by Ava Reed, and I just wanted to show off this beautiful edition that I'm blessed to have with these sprayed edges, and just it's gorgeous. Next, we have Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. I read this once when I was in like 4th grade, but I don't really remember anything about it. So I bought it to reread it, and it's back on my physical TBR now. Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I've heard really good things about the show and the book. I've heard like it's just very like every girl should read it at least once or watch it. It's just like about this young girl growing into her own and just like learning and discovering herself and gaining confidence. The next 2 books I think I'm going to unhaul just because they are children's literature, and I just feel like I've kind of lost my appeal for them. So the first one is The Donut King by Jessie Janowitz. I read the first book a while back, and because I used to teach reading, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, well, I'd love to read book 2 and see where the story goes, but I'm no longer teaching. This one would be The Chocolate Touch by Patrick Skeen Caitling. I think I remember reading this when I was really, really young, and it's like this boy, everything he touches turns into chocolate, and it just really becomes scary at some point, and I don't know, maybe I will read it, maybe I won't, we'll see, but those 2 are kind of maybes. Next, we have Some Shall Break by Ellie Marney. I read the first book, which is None Shall Sleep, a while back, and it was kind of like the Naturals vibes. It was kind of like Criminal Minds vibe. The Cemetery of Untold Stories by Julia Alvarez. I absolutely loved The Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. She is a very respected author in my mind. So when I saw this book, I purchased it just because I think that her writing is so effective that I'm like, I think this book is going to move me or it's going to teach me something. I have The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. I read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by this author, and I really enjoyed it. So I think this like mystery will also be very intriguing by the same author. I have The Third Gilmore Girl, a memoir by Kelly Bishop. Gilmore Girls is one of my favorite shows known to man. I watch it like once a year, maybe twice a year. I really love the vibes of Gilmore Girls. I would love to hear Kelly Bishop's like point of view during that whole show. I have Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. I am not sure if I'm going to enjoy this book. However, my sister absolutely loved it. Her boyfriend loves it. She's like, Natalie, please, you have to read it. So I purchased it to make her happy. I don't know when I will get to it, Ashley, but eventually I will try it for you. Stars Are Dying by CC Peñaranda. I think I said that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. Another fantasy. Could not tell you anything about it. I'm so sorry. Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice by Katie Citatelli-Cook. And the vibes just seem immaculate in this book. Fall is probably my favorite season, but it's so short-lived. So I bought this, did not get time to read it, but eventually I will. Fang Fiction by Kate Stayman London. I think that's how you say it. Vampires. We already know. Vampires. We have Sally's Lament by Mari Mancusi. This is another Disney What If, but this one is about Sally or from The Nightmare Before Christmas. The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I heard this is like the perfect summer slasher, summer mystery thriller to read. So maybe I should open it and read it this summer, because I've heard really good things, because I think it's about a summer camp and a disappearance and all that jazz. I have 2 books by Julie Murphy. We have a Holly Jolly Ever After and a Jingle Bell Mingle. I read book 1 a really, really long time ago. I forgot what it's called, but I just remember it was a spicy Christmas romance, and I believe these 2 are also spicy Christmas romances. So this Christmas, if I'm feeling up to it, we'll see how spicy I want to take it. The Striker and the Defender by Anna Huang. This is a series, the only series by Anna Huang that I have not started. It's like sports romances, and I've heard mixed reviews, but I think book 3 is either coming out or already out. I don't know, but I only have the first 2 books in this series, which is The Striker and The Defender. Next, I have a couple of Vampire Diaries books by L.J. Smith. So I have The Awakening / The Struggle, which I guess is books 1 and 2. Then I have The Fury and Dark Reunion, which is books 3 and 4. But then I also have Nightfall and Shadow Souls, which is The Vampire Diaries The Return, book 1 and 2. I don't know if that's all of them. I don't know if that's like the whole series. I don't know who's in what point of view. All I know is that I love The Vampire Diaries as a show, so I have some of the books, but I have not read the books because I guess the books are extremely different than the show. I have Marked and Betrayed by PC Cass, which is House of Night, books 1 and 2. I don't know anything about these. Anything. Nothing. We have Bloodguard by Ceci Robson. I think this is about like the gladiator times, and like I don't know if it's like just a fantasy or if it's a romantasy, but I don't know. I'm intrigued. Love Holly by Emily Stone. Again, I love this author. It's another Christmas book, so I'll read that around Christmas time. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Roll. I've heard amazing things about this historical romance. I think it takes place in like the 80s or 90s, and I heard it's like heart-wrenching, but like also so sweet, and it just shows you like soulmates are a thing. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I know it's an abomination that I've never read this. I feel like every woman needs to read this. I just have not gotten around to it yet. It's just so intimidating to me because I know how beloved this book is. So I know. I just need to get to it because I've also never seen the movie because I want to read the book first. So I know. I have Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. This is a novella full of like short stories of Ali Hazelwood's writing, so I will get to that at some point, and I know I will enjoy the whole thing. Then we have Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I know I said I was probably going to unhaul Normal People. This book I think I'm more intrigued about just because I think it's more adult rather than like young adult. And I think it's about these siblings who are in different parts of their lives. And so it's like about messy family and like coming together and stuff like that. So I feel like I'll just connect more to it. So I'm excited for that one. Over Elite by Danny Francis. This is a romantasy that blew up. I could not tell you anything about it though. I don't really remember. But I know that I'm excited to read it because it is pretty well loved, and I'm a romantasy fiend. The Cursed by Harper Elwood, which is book 2 of the Coven. I don't know if these are interconnected standalones or if these are all connected, but I have book 1 and 2 that I need to read. Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. I know this is like a cowboy romance, and so I have to be in a very specific mood for the cowboy romances. The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart by Holly Ringland. This book was recommended to me by my old good friend Mary. We were close in high school, and then we recently reconnected for like a little bit. And she told me to read this book. She said it was good. So I bought it. I just have not gotten around to it yet. Tell Me Lies by Corolla Lovering. I know that this book is just like messy. I don't even know if it's like happily ever after. Like, I just know that this book is a hot mess. Some people get frustrated by it. So we'll see if I love the toxic vibes. Night Weaver by R.M. Gray. This is another romantasy that I don't remember anything about. Heaven is for Real by Todd Burpo. I have this book with me right here. And I think this is like a nonfiction book about this little boy who actually passed away and came back to life. And when he comes back to life, he's resuscitated, and he talks about his experience in heaven. He met God, he spoke to God, and he went to heaven, and it's just like about his experience. As a Christian, it seems really, 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 really interesting to me. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I feel like this is a classic for kids. Dante's Inferno by Dante Alighieri. I've never read the whole thing. I've read like snippets of it for school, so I would love to read the actual Dante's Inferno, the whole thing. Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I bought this book from Book Off for $5, so what a steal. I don't remember anything about it. So I guess it's a dystopian YA. There is like, people can't love anymore. So once you turn 18, you have to have a procedure called the cure. And with like 95 days left to her procedure, she's about to turn 18, she meets this boy named Alex, and she thinks she might be falling in love with him. And so she's like, well, now what do I do? Because the government is about to cure me from being able to fall in love. Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I really liked The Great Gatsby by this author, so I feel like his writing will also be cool in this book, but we'll see. I have Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. I have it on my shelf up there, but I don't want to grab it down right now just because it's less accessible than this one. I remember reading the synopsis and being like, oh, that seems really cute. That seems really sweet. I know it's a romance, so, but I don't think it's like a very spicy romance. I don't remember though. I have Just Friends by Haley Pham. I've been watching Haley Pham on YouTube for years, and so when I saw that, I followed her through her writing journey, and I was so excited when the book came out. I just have not gotten around to reading it yet, but I'm really excited. I wanted to support her, so I purchased it, and I'm excited to see what she wrote. Conform by Ariel Sullivan. I don't remember the synopsis of this one either. I'm so sorry. Taurus Season by Bryn Weaver. It's the same author who wrote Butcher and Blackbird series. And I think this one's like about a summer camp or something like that. And so I'm excited because it's going to be the same sense of humor where it's like gory, bloody, and you're not supposed to take it seriously. Burning Daylight by Emily McIntyre. I know this one is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I don't know if it's like mafia families or what, but I'm excited to read it. Bitten by Jordan Stephanie Gray. I cannot tell you anything based on the cover and the name. I'm guessing has something to do with werewolves. So hello. Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmerer. I loved the A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. So when I saw this book, I think I read the synopsis and I was like, you know what? I liked the author's writing. It seems like it's up my alley. So I purchased it, but I don't remember what it's actually about. Warehouse Dreams by Teresa Halverson. I went to a local bookshop in Temecula, and this indie author was there signing her books and selling them. And so my sister and I, we really wanted to support this cutie author. So both of us bought this book together, and we got it signed. We got to talk to the author. She's so sweet. And we were supposed to buddy read it together, and we never got around to it. So Ashley hit me up because we need to start our buddy read soon. Atonement by Ian McEwan. I love the movie with Keira Knightley. I think the book should be just as good, but let me know if that's not the case. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. A classic. I've seen the movie a zillion times, so I would love to read the book. Thorn Season by Kiera Azar. Another romantasy I don't remember the exact synopsis of. Wolf by Paisley Hope. She's the same author who wrote that cowboy romance that I have not read yet. I don't know if this is like a biker gang romance. I don't know. Marry Me by C.R. Jane. This was another book, a Christmas read that I wanted, but it's like my Christmas time is always so busy and hectic, so I don't have a lot of time to read, but then I only want to read these books around Christmas time, so it's like kind of a blessing and a curse. We have the rest of the Scythe series. So I have Thunderhead, The Toll, and Gleanings, which is books 2, 3, and 4 of the Scythe series. Like I said earlier, I read book 1, but now I just need to finish the series, and I'm actually incredibly excited to do so because I really loved book 1. The Will of the Many by James Islington. I know book 2 came out semi-recently. I only own book 1. It is a chonker. I'm excited to read it, but also extremely intimidated. Then we have Beastly Beauty by Jennifer Donnelly. This was a gift from my beautiful friend Lexi. Hey Lexi. It's like Beauty and the Beast vibes. So, but I think the roles are switched. So I think she's the one who turns into a beast and vice versa. Romantasy, Beauty and the Beast, I'm there. Lexi knows me. She knows my taste. So I'm excited to read this one. Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. I think this was like a romantasy by Fallon Ballard because I've only read romances by Fallon Ballard. So when I saw that she wrote a romantasy, I was like, I am intrigued. Curse of Shadows and Ice by Katharina Mora. I don't remember anything about this book. I'm so sorry. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith by Matthew Woodring Stover. I absolutely love episode 3 of Star Wars, and I found a beautiful edition of it. Oro by Alex Astor. I am patiently but impatiently waiting for book 5 of the Lightlark series. So I guess to hold me over, I can read the Grim and Oro book that I have. Butter by Asako Yuzuki. My book club read this a long time ago, but I wasn't mentally capable of doing so just because of like my mental health journey and the themes that were in this book. I don't know if I'll read it on my own, and if I don't, I'll probably end up unhauling it and giving it to someone who I think will enjoy it better. Starside by Alex Astor. I know I need to like hurry up and get to this book because everyone's talking about it, saying like if you don't read this book right now, you're missing out. But book 2 hasn't, it's been announced, it's like been over, like it's rumored that it's over 800 pages, but we don't know when it's releasing, so I'm like, maybe I'll wait so that way I can read them closer together. So I have King of Gluttony by Anna Huang, which I mentioned earlier. This is the second to last book in the Kings of Sin series. I don't know when King of Lust is coming out. The cover was revealed, but I don't remember when it's coming out. So I need to read King of Gluttony before King of Lust comes out. Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. This is her most recent release. It just came out, I think, last month. I am so excited to read this one. I think my good friend Lexi either is currently reading it or she just read it. So I'll have to stalk her Goodreads to see what she thinks because she also loves Ashley Poston. I love The Cursed by Romina Garber. I'm pretty sure this is a romantasy with vampires. So I'm sold. Silence and Finale by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is books 3 and 4 in the Hush Hush series. I really liked books 1 and books 2. So yeah, I'm excited to continue the series and read book 3 and 4. I have Frostbound by Frost K. I think I bought this book as like a blind date with a book, so I cannot tell you much about it other than like I liked the vibes or synopsis that they like intrigued me with on the front. And then I opened it, I was like, oh, okay, this seems like a perfect like romantasy, but it's very wintry or snowy. So we'll see when I read it. Maybe Meant to Be by K.L. Walther. This is a book that my friend Lexi unhauled and gave to me very kindly. I'm excited to read it because I read Summer of Broken Rules by this author, and it was so fun. I remember loving it, so I wanted to read another book by the same author. I have House of Dragons and House of Shadows by K.A. Lind. I saw that they were about dragons, and the covers looked really cool, and I'm in a huge romantasy mood, so I went ahead and I bought those a while back. I also have Rights of the Starling by Devney Perry. I read book 1 a while back, and I'm so excited to read this book. However, we don't know when book 3 is coming. Maybe we do. I need to be more on top of like the bookish news. But yes, I don't know if I want to wait until I read closer to book 3's release, because I keep disappointing myself by like speeding through a book and then I'm like, no, I have to wait. Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. I bought this book on a whim because it looked so cool. It's also kind of like a mystery thriller, and I don't pick up those a lot, so I'm excited. I have books 2 through 5 of the Off-Campus series. I also have book 1 up there. I already read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and since I've been obsessed with the show, now I need to like go through and read all of them. So I have The Mistake, which is book 2. I have The Score, which is book 3. The Goal, which is book 4. And then The Legacy, which is book 5, which I think happens like way later because this one's also kind of skinny. I think that is my physical TBR in its entirety. Liar! Guys, I have a confession. It's taken me so long to edit this video that I actually have added books to my TBR. I'm so sorry, but let's just go through them super quick. I have Eyes Like Stars by Ashley Poston. This is her newest release. It came out, I want to say last week. Yeah, it's her Star Wars based romance novel. Enough said. Then I also picked up Slasher Summer by E.L. Chen. This was from Barnes, so it has the really pretty like sprayed edges. I heard from a little birdie that this is going to be my book club's August pick, so I decided to pick it up early so that way I don't have to worry about it. Then I also got Forsaking Midnight by Emily McIntyre. I have book 1 with the beautiful spread edges. I saw book 2 and I couldn't help myself. The Truest Lover of a Sinful Man. Like, I know I'm going to want to read the second one after I read the first one, so I picked it up. Then I saw a trailer for Other Mommy, and I immediately had to buy Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. This has been on my wish list for so long, and then I saw that a movie was coming out, and then I saw a trailer, so I was like, I'm gonna buy this and read this as soon as possible because I don't want any more spoilers. Then I also got We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. I love TJ Klune, and my friend Lorelai, hey Lorelai, she just read it. She said it was super cute, super cozy, magic of being human type read. So I decided to pick it up because I want to read it myself. Okay, I'm gonna go hide from shame now. Bye. Hey! I have another confession to make. So it is currently Tuesday, August 4th, and I'm finishing up my editing for this video. Unfortunately, that means I have another book coming. I have Adversary to the Villain coming today because I pre-ordered it and I'm trying to be as open as possible about how many books are on my TBR. I realize I have a problem, okay? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go really dive shame now. Bye. Yeah, please help to influence or de-influence my TBR. I know it's ginormous. I know that I have a lot of reading to do and I need to do it now. And that's not even including my Kindle TBR, because I have Kindle books that I've bought. I have Kindle Unlimited books that I don't have physical copies of because they're on Kindle Unlimited. 156 books on my Kindle TBR. So we'll go through those. But yeah, Thank you so much for being patient and sitting through this video. If you made it to this point, please comment a lollipop. I love you guys so much. I hope to see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, share this with your friends. I appreciate you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.